25 Sports. Welcome to opening day at Fenway Park. Activity returns to Yawkey Way as Major League Baseball is about to begin its 100th season in Boston. And as usual on opening day, the youngsters are here looking for autographs from their heroes. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough along with Jerry Remy. We're delighted to have you with us for this very special day on the New England sports calendar. Opening day at Fenway Park, the 89th opener for the Red Sox in this ballpark. And Jerry, the Red Sox have already played 6 games this season on the road, but you sense today is special for the players, too.
Always is, Sean. You know, you play those 6 games, you're nervous on opening day, the real opening day, but when you get back home for this one, you're always nervous again, the same feeling as you had in game 1. You want to put on a good show for the folks who are going to be here to support you throughout this time of the season, the long, hard summer, of course, when the cold weather returns in September. You want to put on that good show for them, and I think players get nervous about that, especially in this first game back at Fenway Park.
And perhaps some anxiety for Ramon Martinez. He will make the start today for the Red Sox. He struggled at the end of spring training, had a very rough outing in his regular season debut in Seattle.
Well, when we watched him pitch last time, it was very uncharacteristic for Ramon. Everything that he threw was up in the zone, up above the belt, and he just had problems throwing strikes. I think he'll correct that. He worked on it between starts, trying to keep his shoulder in, get that ball back down in the zone, and have some success.
Couple of roster notes for you. John Valentin has gone on the disabled list. His place taken by Wilton Veras up quickly from Pawtucket. Veras is in the starting lineup today, and Rob Stanifer has been called up from Pawtucket to take the place of Bryce Flory. He's on the disabled list with a groin injury. We'll have the first pitch from Fenway Park on opening day 2000 right after this. Boston Red Sox baseball on Fox 25 is brought to you by your friendly New England Dodge dealers, by Dunkin' Donuts, by your New England Ford dealers. Visit your New England Ford dealers for the best-selling trucks on the planet. By McDonald's. Come into McDonald's and try the new Big Extra. Did somebody say McDonald's? By your New England Toyota dealers, where you'll find exceptional value every day. And by Southwest Airlines. Log on for low fares at www.southwest.com.
Last.
Want to get away?
Oh.
Fly Southwest Airlines coast to coast for $99 or less when you purchase tickets by May 3rd and travel Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
You are now free to move about the country.
I thought this show was going to be a big hit for us.
Yeah,
but the Dunkin' Donuts, how much is getting all the attention?
Wait,
They're not stopping.
Hi, me, Miss Cornflake.
what is an omelet?
Some new omelet breakfast sandwich.
3 cheese, bacon cheddar, fat
The new omelet breakfast sandwich. Breakfast will never be the same.
Do you see me? I'm a waffle. Hello.
Stop into Dunkin' Donuts today and try the all-new omelet breakfast sandwich.
Now you can lease a new Ford Focus for just $199 a month with $16.24 due at signing.
I hope it's gonna be alright.
Welcome back to Fenway Park. As usual, a capacity crowd will be on hand, and it's fairly typical opening day weather, what you'd expect in early and mid-April. A gray day, and the temperature expected to be in the 40s throughout most of the afternoon. Thankfully, it seems the precipitation is going to hold off until later in the day, and it should allow the Red Sox and Twins to get this ball game in. Starting lineups brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For the Minnesota Twins, who have started the season at 3-5, Todd Walker is the second baseman. Christian Guzman, the shortstop. Matt Lawton, the right fielder, will bat third. The DH and cleanup hitter is David Ortiz. Ron Coomer is the first baseman. Corey Kosky, the third baseman, led the Twins last year with a .310 batting average. Marcus Jensen, the catcher, bats seventh. Jock Jones off to a fine start in left field, hits eighth. And the center fielder, Torrey Hunter, will bat ninth against Ramon Martinez, the Dominican Republic native, on this chilly day, pitching in the short sleeves.
Well, there you see the last outing against the Seattle Mariners, an inning and a third in that ball game, 7 runs and 3 hits and the 4 walks. And Ramon Ramon said, well, had a lot of trouble throwing strikes, which was very obvious in that start. Everything was up high above the belt. Between starts, he has worked with Kerrigan on keeping that left shoulder in just a little bit longer and try to get those pitches down in the zone. Never faced Minnesota in his major league career.
And the defense behind Ramon on opening day at Fenway. Troy O'Leary in left field, Carl Everett in center, and Trot Nixon in right. Wilton Veras makes his first start of the season at third base. Nomar Garcia Parra at shortstop. Jose Offerman at second base. Mike Stanley, the first baseman, and Jason Varitek behind the plate. The umpires are Marvin Hudson calling the balls and strikes. Tim Welke at first base. Dale Scott at second. Gary Cedarstrom at third. And Todd Walker's in the batter's box, ready for the first pitch of the season at Fenway Park from Ramon Martinez. Swung on by Walker and a fly ball to center field. Everett the catch for the first out of the home season. The first pitch officially at 1:06.
Now, one thing you're always concerned about in the cool weather, especially with pitchers like Ramon, who have had that arm surgery, the fact that will they be able to get loose early in the ball game. But swinging at the first pitch helps take care of some of that. Ramon out there this afternoon, too, with no sleeves, which is not uncommon anymore for most pitchers.
Christian Guzman, the shortstop, took a ball down and in. He's off to a good start. 11 for 31 with 5 runs batted in, a .355 batting average. Down and in again from Martinez. Ramon wants a new ball from Marvin Hudson. Now the 2-0 pitch. I can tell what was wrong with that one. Marvin Hudson said ball 3. Three balls, no strikes. And Guzman walks on 4 pitches. Ramon had trouble throwing strikes in Seattle, and he's already walked the second batter of this outing.
Batting third, number
and you
50,
want to hit the ball. Guzman
right fielder, Matt
still
Lotta.
developing as a hitter at the major league level. There's Joe Kerrigan, the Red Sox pitching coach, hoping that he'll get a victory today from someone other than Pedro Martinez. Red Sox 2-4. Pedro with the 2 wins. They haven't won a game started by any of the other starters, although some of them pitched decently. That's past Offerman off the bat of Matt Lawton. Guzman will stop at second. And the Twins have first and second with 1 out. Offerman couldn't come up with a bounding ball from Lawton, who went to the plate hitting .294 thus far this year.
Well, one advantage, obviously, with a man on base, those infielders are at double play depth, which of course is a little bit closer, and that cuts down on the range. Offerman into the dive. And yeah, the Twins got a couple of hitters, Guzman and Lawton. They've got off to a terrific start. Lawton's got 10 RBI already this season.
Twins are hitting .293 as a team, averaging 6 runs per game, but they're 3-5. The pitching has struggled. They opened the season at home with 4 against Tampa Bay, and then went to Kansas City. David Ortiz, the DH today, hitting .273, 3 for 11. And 2 runs batted in. Down and in, 2-0.
Well, right now, Ramon having difficulty throwing strikes. The good news is when he's missing, he has missed down in the zone, down and out of the zone. Just the opposite in the last outing against Seattle.
And he gets the call on a pitch on the outside corner. Already the fans in midseason mock cheer form. Little mock cheer for Ramon as he threw a strike. outfield, around toward left for Ortiz. They give him some room in right center. The ball low. 3-1 with Ron Coomer on deck.
There's been a couple in this inning. Sean looked like pretty good pitches, about knee high, and not getting the call.
Well, we don't know if Marvin Hudson is a National League umpire or one of those who came up from the minors last year, but we haven't seen him before, and thus far we're not overwhelmed. Line to left, a base hit. Troy O'Leary bobbles the ball, but it didn't hurt him as Guzman had already been stopped at third by third base coach Ron Gardenhire. So back-to-back hits after the walk, and the bases are loaded. And reason to squirm already for Jimmy Williams.
Well, once again, Minnesota hitter working ahead in the count. Pitch down and away. Nice piece of hitting by Ortiz, just going to the opposite field. Because you can play so shallow here at Fenway Park in left field, even with the bobble, Guzman was not able to score.
Bases full for Ron Coomer. Red Sox hoping for the double play that will get them out of this first inning unscathed. Ball one way up and in to Coomer. Hitting .240 with 2 homers. 7 runs batted in. He was the Twins All-Star representative last year. Martinez missed the outside corner. 2-0. Coomer hit both of his homers in the same game against Kansas City on April 9th. The pitch to hit and fouled it back to the screen. Matter of fact, one of his home runs in the 6th inning against Kansas City was part of back-to-back-to-back homers for the Twins. 3 in a row from Coomer, Jock Jones, and Matt LaCroix. The Royals in that same game hit back-to-back-to-back home runs. 2-1 pitch is a strike. Over the outer third. 2-2.
The first time Ramon has got a strike call on the corner today. That fastball tailing back to the outside corner.
Crowd trying to help Ramon. He could use a strikeout or a double play grounder. 2-2 pitch. Popped out of play to the right. An amazing season last year for Ramon. For most of it, he was hanging around the team in a rehab situation, coming back from arm surgery. Made a couple of starts. Was adequate. The decision pretty much been made to shut him down for the rest of the year. Then they needed an emergency starter in September. He stepped in, pitched very well, opened some eyes, and wound up being a key part of their run into the playoffs and in the playoffs. He misses up and in again.
Again, every time you see that ball just sail up in the zone, that front shoulder opens up too soon, and Ramon getting underneath the baseball.
Well, he needs to throw a strike here, or he will walk in a run. The payoff pitch to Coomer. Ball 4 low. Guzman forced in with the first run of the inning, first run of the ball game, and the first run of the season here at Fenway. An ominous beginning, and Jimmy Williams has dispatched pitching coach Joe Kerrigan to the mound. 8th run batted into the season for Coomer. I think with Ramon, the Red Sox and the fans are hoping that he's going to have that one breakthrough outing that makes you say, okay, it was just a little mini slump he was in, and here comes the Ramon we can expect for the rest of the year. But this looks like the Ramon of last week in Seattle and the last few outings of spring training.
Yeah, I would agree, Sean. The last 3 outings in particular of spring training had his difficulties. That carried over into Seattle. Already 2 walks here in the first inning. He had 4 walks last time out in an inning and a third. Just having a tough time right now finding the strike zone. Most of his pitches in this game have been down. but still having difficulty throwing strikes.
That's a terrible ratio. Twice as many balls to strikes. He's thrown 18 pitches already and still only 1 out, and a very dangerous hitter, Corey Koski, at the plate. Their leading hitter last year at .310. He comes into this one riding a 6-game hitting streak. Good off-speed pitch. Koski was out ahead of it. Corey's hitting .296 with 3 runs batted in. Been up 27 times with 8 hits. Bases still loaded. The 0-1 sails up and away.
Koski last year the best hitter with men in scoring position for the Twins, a .349 batting average.
A pop-up. That's playable for Wilton Veras near the coach's box. 2 outs.
Now there's a case here where the fastball was up a bit, but in a good spot. It was under the hands of Corey Koski, and that's pretty much where Martinez wanted to put that pitch. See the fastball inside and really kind of ties up the left-handed hitter. The result, a little pop-up to Veras at third base.
Bases still loaded. 2 outs. 1-0 Minnesota in the first. Marcus Jensen, the catcher, at the plate, and he takes the ball down and in. Splitting the catching chores with rookie Matt LaCroix. Jensen 3 for 12 with 3 singles. Still looking for his first homer and run batted in as a member of the Minnesota Twins. 2-0.
A few surprises for Tom Kelly at the end of spring training, sending Chad Allen, who was a left fielder, back to the minor leagues. Valentine, who did a lot of catching for him last year, back to the minor leagues.
There's Tom Kelly. 14th full season with the Twins. Longest tenure in Major League Baseball with his current team. Matter of fact, the longest in major sports. Couple of world championships. 87 and 91, but in recent years, loss after loss, as the Twins have had year in year out one of the lowest payrolls in baseball, as they do again this year with a payroll of about $17 million. Past that to the Red Sox payroll of more than $70 million. 3-1. He's in danger of walking in another run.
Not a bad spot to be in for a hitter. 3-1. The bases loaded. Has to throw a strike.
And Jensen popped it up. All things considered, Ramon should get out of this rather inexpensively, and he does, as O'Leary made the catch. 1-0 Twins after a half inning. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox Network. After a half inning here at Fenway, the Minnesota Twins have a 1-0 lead. Ramon Martinez gave up 2 hits and walked 2 in the top of the first. The Red Sox starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. The Red Sox are 2-4 after their season opening road trip through Seattle and Anaheim. Jose Offerman, the second baseman, leads off, followed by the right fielder Trot Nixon. Brian Daubach will be the DH. The shortstop Nomar Garcia Parra is the cleanup hitter. Troy O'Leary, the left fielder. Carl Everett in center field will hit 6th. Mike Stanley at first base. Jason Varitek is the catcher, and Wilton Veras, who was sent down to the minors in spring training despite his .436 average, is back up with the injury to John Valentin, batting 9th against Joe Mays.
Last season, the first in the big leagues for Joe Mays. 20 starts, a record of 6-11. He faced the Red Sox a couple of times and had some difficulties. 4 1/3 innings against Boston, allowing 6 earned runs. Came out from the Seattle organization back in 1997, involved at a trade that involved Roberto Kelly going over to Seattle. Good control pitches. Should get a lot of ground balls if effective.
It was impressive from time to time last year.
Leading off for the Red Sox.
He had an outing last year against Chicago in September when he had a perfect game into the 6th inning. Here's Jose Offerman. He's walked 9 times. It has just 2 hits through the first 6 games. 2 for 20. The first pitch from Mays is a strike. Offerman tied with Anaheim's Troy Gloss for the American League lead in walks. Mays missed low. 1-1. Mays turned that one over and missed low and away. Ball 3 low. Mays is picking up where Ramon Martinez left off. Joe Mays, born in Flint, Michigan. Went to high school in Bradenton, Florida. Ball 4. We've said that a lot this year for the Red Sox pitchers and the opposition. We have seen just dreadful control this first week plus of the season from pitchers all over baseball.
Really have been a lot of walks. I don't know if early season nervousness or whatever it is, but there's been a bunch of them. Red Sox open his homestand trying to get hot offensively. They remain last in the league in runs through the first 6 games that they've played.
They scored 20 runs. That's firing away the major league low. Trot Nixon the batter. He pulls one toward the right field corner. A very long run, and the catch not made by Matt Lawton. The ball gets away from him into the corner. Offerman had to hold up to see if it would be caught, so he goes to third, and Nixon has a double.
And that sounded like it was toward the end of the bat for Trot Nixon, and the ball just didn't go anywhere. Matt Lawton, who was playing him pretty much straight up out there in right field, had a long way to go and made a very nice effort to try to make the play. Can't quite get to it. There you see Offerman. He has to make sure that ball drops in. And once it gets by, Red Sox runners will end up at second and third. That was right toward the end of the bat for Trot Nixon.
No chance for the Red Sox to take the lead quickly here in the bottom of the first. 2 men in scoring position. Minnesota leads 1-0. Here's Brian Daubach. Off to a good start at 3:53. 6 for 17. With the team leading 3 homers. He also leads the club with 5 runs batted in. Mays missed with a breaking ball. Down the middle, a strike.
This is almost the same situation for Daubach if there was a man on second and nobody out. The infield's back. You're trying to pull the ball here. And if you ground out the second, you get the run home. Plus, you advance that man to third base with less than 2 outs.
Omar Garciaparra on deck. Mays missed inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Omar hoping that home cooking might get him going after a tough road trip. Daubach did try to pull it and yanked it foul past Tommy Harper. This is the 3rd time in the last 6 years the Red Sox have opened the home season with Minnesota. Did so in 95 and 96. Won both games from the Twins. 2-2 pitch. Hit in the air and right. And pretty well hit. Both runners are tagging as Matt Lawton makes the catch. On to score Offerman with the tying run. Nixon to third. It's 1-1.
Well, good job by Daubach. That's what we're talking about, Sean. If you're going to make out in that situation, obviously that's your second choice. You want to get a hit. But if you're going to make an out, try to make it to that side of the field. You've got to advance 2 base runners. Daubach gets the run home from third. He also gets Nixon to third base with less than 2 outs. Good job.
Now Nomar Garciaparra. Welcome back to Fenway with a warm ovation. Some of the fans, as you see in the background, on their feet. The defending American League batting champion off to a dreadful start by his standards, really by anyone's standards, at 182 with 4 singles. He hits one up the middle. Backhanded by Walker. Long throw, not in time. That's a hit. And an RBI. The first RBI of the season for Garcia Parra. It comes in the 7th game of the year. It scores Nixon, and the Red Sox lead 2-1 in the first.
And you take them any way you can get them. First pitch again for Garcia Parra. Not exactly crushed, but in a good direction. Nice backhanded play by Walker. But Nomar, too much speed down that line. Hard to believe he picked up his first RBI on an infield hit, but that's the case.
Now Nomar's at first. 2-1 Red Sox. Each team with 2 hits. And Mays missed a little bit outside to Troy O'Leary. Troy at 217, coming off the 2-homer game Sunday in Anaheim to propel the Red Sox to victory behind Pedro Martinez. His first 2 homers of the year. He's driven in 3. He takes a strike. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Because of the cool temperatures here at Fenway, the pitch is allowed to blow on their hand while they're standing on the mound.
Big swing and a miss. Interesting when you look back at some notes from previous opening days. We mentioned the 95 opener was against Minnesota. The Red Sox won the game when Aaron Seeley, Frank Rodriguez, Alejandro Pena, Jeff Pierce, and Ken Ryan combined on a shutout. Mike Greenwell went 4 for 5. O'Leary hits it back to Mays. He goes to second for 1 and on to first for the double play. Nicely done. 1-6-3 double play to end the inning. And Nomar's run batted in against Joe Mays has given the Red Sox a 2-1 lead after 1. Plenty of offense in the first inning. The Red Sox lead 2-1. Pitcher hurt by control troubles.
Number 11.
Ramon Martinez walked 2 and walked in a run in the top of the first. And Joe Mays walked the first batter he faced, Jose Offerman, who came around to score the first of the 2 Red Sox runs. Bottom part of the order as Ramon faced 7 Twins in the first inning. Here's Jock Jones. We mentioned earlier, off to a great start, hitting .387, 12 for 31, with 3 homers already. Has him in a tie for 4th in the American League in home runs. Charles Johnson, Mike Sweeney, Tony Batista share the American League home run lead. 4 each. Down the line, fair ball. Out of the reach of Stanley. Nixon over to play it. Jones on his way to second. Nixon up and throwing. And not in time. A good play made by Nomar on a throw that was a little bit high and toward the pitcher's mound.
Stanley in tight, respecting the speed and maybe the bunting ability of Jock Jones. Instead, he'll take that ball right between Stanley and the first baseline for the leadoff double. He's another one of those Twins hitters that, as you mentioned, Sean, has got up to a great start. 3 home runs. He had a total of 9 all of last season.
The number 9 batter, the center fielder, Torrey Hunter. Tying run at second. Hunter carves one back to the screen. Hunter's hitting .292, 7 for 24. 3 extra base hits, all of them doubles. He's driven in 2 runs. Three hits already for Minnesota. Hunter drops a bunt down foul off third. 45 degrees the game time temperature. Wind seems to be changing directions every time you look out at the flag. Right now it's across the field from right to left. That's the flag above us that would indicate that it's blowing straight in from center. You look at the center field flag and it's blowing toward left.
I'll say one thing, conditions quite a bit better than expected.
Yes.
Listening to the forecast over the last couple of days.
This morning when the sun was out, even though it was cool in the sun, it wasn't uncomfortable. You were dressed appropriately. With the sun in now, with the wind up, It is on the chilly side. At least there has been no precipitation to this point. Fastball fouled back. 0-2. And you know it can't be that cold in the park if the radio guys next to us have their window up, which they do at the moment.
Yeah, let's see if they make the whole game, though.
I doubt it. Here they are. Joe Castiglione. Windows up, so you know it's comfy. That they're cranking the heat over there.
I think they had a fireplace built in their booth during the offseason.
Yeah, they have a very fancy booth. They put a lot of time and effort into the care and maintenance of it. We just kind of show up. The 0-2 pitch. Outside. Looks in this inning like Ramon might have a little more zip on the fastball. We'll face Todd Walker after Torrey Hunter. And on the ground to short. That won't move the runner along. Garcia Parra to Stanley for the out. Tom Kelly won't like that. After 2 strikes, it's harder to continue to have the thought process to direct the ball to the right side. But when your team like the Twins, and you're going to struggle for everything you can get, you need to do the little things well, and Hunter could not move the runner along.
Yeah, you hope to get that job done before you get the 2 strikes. So once you get the 2 strikes, Ramon throw him the changeup, and that's a tough pitch to move the other way. Hunter pulled at the shortstop, and the base runner remains at second.
Todd Walker takes a strike. He fly to center to start the ball game. Former LSU Tiger hitting .200 now. Ramon jammed him. A grass cutter down to first, handled by Stanley. 2 down, and Jock Jones at third now.
Now, much better control here in the second inning for Ramon. He's able to hit his spots that he would like to. Get that ball inside to Todd Walker, and that ground ball to first base.
The shortstop, Christian Guzman.
Two outs, the tying run at third for Minnesota. The Red Sox lead 2-1. In the second, Christian Guzman bunts foul.
Not a bad idea by Guzman. You know, 2 outs, everybody drops deep. The second baseman, the first baseman, a little deeper at third. Guzman trying to surprise with the 2-out bunt.
Guzman didn't do much with the bat last year, but this player probably should have been in the minors, rushed along because he was in the Twins organization. And Tom Kelly does expect some improvement in year 2.
Hopefully in the defensive end. He made 24 errors a year ago. Plays all his home games on artificial surface, so that's a bunch.
He had 226 last year for Minnesota. In addition to all those errors, good changeup from Ramon. Looking much sharper here in the second inning.
There's that changeup again in a good location below the knees and on the outside corner.
And the Twins left the bases loaded in the first. Malone's going to try to get them to leave a man at third base here in the second. The 1-2 pitch. Fly ball left center. Long run for O'Leary, but he's there to end the inning. After an inning and a half, it's 2-1 in favor of the Red Sox along the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
To see the Red Sox make a run at the World Series in 2000, Fenway Park is the only place to see Pedro, Nomar, and all your favorite players. Tickets can be purchased at the Red Sox ticket office through the Touchstone ticketing system by calling 617-482-4SOX.
Carl Everett. His first Fenway Park at bat as a member of the Red Sox. He had a good road trip. Went 8 for 20. We looked at ball one from Joe Mays. Everett had 2 homers on the trip, knocked in 4 runs. Everett, Stanley, and Varitek. Red Sox try to build on this 2-1 lead. Well, it looks like Marvin Hudson doesn't want to call too many strikes today.
No.
Gee whiz. Mays threw one that looked like it was right there. And that's another ball.
Lucky to have Everett at the game today. He had a little difficulty finding Fenway this morning.
That can happen to the newcomers. That's a well-hit ball to center. Carl Everett has a home run in his first Fenway Park at bat as a member of the Red Sox.
Well, that's one way to endear yourself to the Fenway crowd. Your first at bat, straight away center field. Everett picking up his 3rd home run of the young season. Yeah, he was driving around this morning. He couldn't find the ballpark, and he was on the cell phone. And Jack McCormick, the Red Sox traveling secretary, and Jack was trying to direct him over the cell phone to the ballpark. And I'm telling you, this conversation had to go on for 45 minutes.
Mike Stanley, the batter. 2-0 the count. Stanley hitting .250 with 2 doubles, 4 for 16. They're looking for his first home run batted in. Ball 3 as Mays missed high with a fastball. That happens a lot when new players come to the Red Sox, in part because, you know, most of the ballparks around the country, they stand alone. They're obvious as you drive up to them. Not many of them are in long-time neighborhoods like this, where you could drive right by this and not know that it was a ballpark. You didn't see the light towers jutting out.
A lot of times you pick up those light towers, but you still can't get to the park.
Ball 4. Mays disgusted that he didn't get the call on that pitch. Jensen's going to go to the mound. Well, welcome to the American League, Marvin Hudson.
Yeah, he has been very tight with both pitches. He's missed about 2 or 3 on Mays, and he's also done the same, I think, for Ramon Martinez.
And it's early yet, just the 2nd inning.
Batting 8, number 33, the catcher,
Tom Kelly.
Jason Varitek.
Ron Gardenhire, the third base coach, alongside. He took over the Twins, the interim manager, September 12th of 1986, when Ray Miller was let go. He's been the manager ever since. Jason Varitek, the batter. Jason went 4 for 18 with 1 RBI in the season opening road trip. Played in 5 of the 6 games. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball 2 up and away. Mays this afternoon for the Twins. They're scheduled to go with Johan Santana, the left-hander, tomorrow. Brad Radke on Thursday. Red Sox encounter with Jeff Fassero and Pete Sherrick. Well, that seems to be the place to throw it to get a called strike. You know, it looks to be a little bit outside and low, then you might get a called strike. Beach ball on the field out and left.
I think Varitek was stunned that that pitch was called a strike because anything close to the corner has not been a strike so far. Very much a hit as umpire to this point.
As Varitek would know because he's been back there behind the plate handling the pitches of Ramon Martinez to this point. Red Sox lead 3-1 after the home run by Carl Everett here in the 2nd. And that's ball 3 just inside. I was hoping that when Major League Baseball really seemed to take control of the umpiring situation. The union dissolved. They came back with a new group this year. But the message we get across to these guys from Sandy Alderson, the coach of Major League Baseball, we want to see you call more strikes. But we haven't really seen much evidence of that yet. Fly ball to right, caught in right center by Lawton. And Stanley's back to first with one out.
Yeah, I think basically umpires will pretty much call the strike zone that they have been personally calling all the time that they've umpired. It's hard for them to change.
Number 38, the third
But you're right, Sean.
baseman.
We have seen no indication of any widening of the strike zone. That's for sure.
Well, where I Sandy Alderson, I would tell them it might be hard to change, but you're going to change. And if you don't, then we'll continue to go out and try to find other umpires who will. Here's Wilton Veras. He drives one to right. Again, a long run for Lawton, and he falls down, and the ball is touched by a fan up into the stands on a hop, and Wilton Veras has a double on the first pitch to him. The Red Sox have second and third with one out, and Veras wastes no time in making an impression. It wasn't interesting to hear the reaction that he got during the lineups. He got one of the largest hands of any member of the Red Sox when he was introduced.
Really did. And here's Veras, the first pitch swinging the opposite field, and I think Lawton misplayed this ball. He got trapped in too close to it where he probably should have backed off and played it on the one hop. Then you get to that warning track out there, and you still got quite a bit of ways to go before you get to the wall.
Interesting infield defense. Some of them are playing in, but Walker, the second baseman, is way back as Jose Hoffman stands in and takes the ball.
They'll do this a lot, Sean. Well, not a lot, but every now and then where they'll bring the opposite side of the hitter in case he squibbles one off the end of the bat and they have a chance maybe at home plate. And his pull side, they'll just play him deep and don't want to give up the 2 runs.
Hoffman now the league leader in walks all by himself with 10. Mays misses wide with ball 2, 2-0. Ball 3. Trot Nixon on deck. Three runs, 4 hits for Boston, 1 run, 3 hits for Minnesota. On the bottom of the second on opening day 2000 at Fenway Park. 3-0 pitch. On the corner, a strike. Ball 4. Second walk in the inning, third in the outing. And here comes Dick Such.
It's amazing for Offerman. He's only hitting 100, but he's been walking just about in every at bat. On base percentage pretty good considering not getting many hits.
It's 379 starting today, and he's been on base twice in 2 plate appearances today. Bases are loaded. Dick Such has been with Tom Kelly throughout. He became a Twins pitching coach in 1985. And Kelly has retained him through the years, even though from time to time when the pitchers have struggled. Such has been the object of some criticism.
The right fielder.
And he's been very loyal to his coaches throughout his stay in Minnesota. Which I'm sure the coaches appreciate.
Yes. Action in the bullpen. Mark Redmond, the left-hander, warming up. Trot Nixon doubled to right. Just out of the reach of the diving right fielder Lawton last inning. Trot came around to score the second Red Sox run. Still looking for his first hit ever with the bases loaded. Reaches for that and fouls it off. Trot is 0 for 13 in his major league career with the bases full. Joe Mays with the bases loaded and 1 out. He got a double play ball last inning off the bat of Troy O'Leary to minimize the damage. He'd like another here. And for a guy from Florida who spent spring training in Florida, then they opened to Tampa Bay and Kansas City. He's not used to this 45-degree chill. Inside, a check swing. Mays wants an appeal. No swings as Gary Cederstrom. Now it's 3-1.
Well, at least the Red Sox had a taste of some cool weather up in Seattle for those games.
And the fans into it again. Mays has to throw a strike. And Nixon fouled it off. Looked like a pretty good pitch to hit. Up a little bit, but maybe a little bit too tight to try.
Also might have been a changeup. Looked like it was an off-speed pitch by Mays. Didn't it say up about belt high? I'd try to like to have that one back again.
Yes. I wonder if the 0 for 13 is a stat that he'd be aware of. Probably not.
I doubt it.
Payoff pitch. Ball 4 up and away. He walks in a run. 3 walks in the inning.
Well, the Red Sox with a great opportunity to break this one open early, let everybody relax a little bit, including Ramon Martinez. Give him some runs to work with.
Number 23, the designated hitter, Brian.
Mays has walked 4, including the last 2 hitters. The Red Sox have 4 hits. They lead 4-1 as Stanley scored on the bases loaded walk to Nixon. Here's Brian Daubach, the 7th hitter of the inning. He had a sacrifice fly to right. Knocked in the Red Sox first run last inning. Ball 1, not close. This inning started on a home run by Carl Everett. He became the 10th player to hit a home run in his first at bat at Fenway Park. Right back to Mays. He booted it. Throws to the plate. Not in time. The foot was off the plate, says Marvin Hudson. The catcher, Marcus Jensen, went into a stretch like a first baseman. And Marvin Hudson said, no, your toes were off the plate. So Veras is safe, and the Red Sox lead 5-1. Mays had a chance to get himself out of this difficulty, but couldn't handle the soft comebacker from Daubach.
He tries to rush it right there. You see him looking at home plate and not looking the ball into his glove. Then the throw, not a bad throw, but it's going to pull Jensen off home plate, and a good call by the home plate umpire. You could see clearly there Mays looking toward home plate. He wanted to go to the catcher and then back to first base with a double play. Never made the catch. There's the off-balance throw. Not a bad throw, but it's just going to pull the catcher right off the bag. I think that foot was up, Sean, off the home plate.
Mays departs. He had a brief look toward Marvin Hudson with a shake of the head. And he's looking back in that direction again. Carl Everett's homer started this 3-run rally here in the second, and the Red Sox are still batting. The Red Sox lead 5-1 in the second. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network. Start to the home baseball season here in Boston as the Red Sox lead 5-1 in the second, and they have the bases loaded with 1 out. They've knocked the Minnesota starter Joe Mays out of the game after an inning and a third, relieved by the left-hander Mark Redmond.
This will be his second appearance of the 2000 season, an inning earlier this year, allowing a hit, a strikeout. A starting pitcher all through his minor league career, a former #1 draft choice back in 1995 for the Minnesota Twins.
Here's Nomar with a softball up the middle. He legged it out for a base hit and an RBI in the first inning. Ball that second baseman Walker backhanded behind second, but couldn't get Nomar in time with the throw. Redmond's first pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Nomar, a career 400 hitter with the bases loaded, including 3 grand slams.
He also hit about 400 last year against left-handed pitching.
Redmond handcuffed Jensen with that pitch. One ball, one strike. That's a bullet up the middle, a base hit. Nomar's 2 for 2. Offerman has scored. Here comes Nixon. He scores, and the Red Sox lead 7-1.
Well, welcome home, fellas. We get off the plane from the West Coast back to Fenway Park, and the bats come alive really in the ball game. This one hit better than the last time by Garciaparra, up the middle, and this time to drive in 2 runs. So Nomar has a total of 3. And we're only in the second inning. Nomar just wears out left-handed pitching. Unbelievable.
There's a little bit of a rut on the road trip where he's popping everything up, and he says sometimes that does happen to him, but he's obviously gotten out of that quickly. The 2 balls hit on the ground here today. Troy O'Leary grounded into a double play to end the first inning. He's the 9th batter of the second inning. Still only 1 out. Daubach at second, Garciaparra at first. On the ground and through into right field. Lawton's charging. Daubach being waved around. Lawton up and throwing to the plate. Daubach safe. And down to second goes O'Leary. And the Red Sox lead 8-1.
Once again, O'Leary, who also hit very well against lefties a year ago, continues. Right by Todd Walker. A high throw by Lawton. It's all the way in the air. And overthrowing the cutoff man is going to allow O'Leary to go into second base and get in scoring position. There's that slide by Daubach just all the way around. Jensen, the catcher. And Carl home plate with the hand.
Well, Carl Everett must think that this is a soft throwing lefty because he is hitting left-handed against Redmond. He did so against Jamie Moyer, and he said that when they throw soft stuff, he'll bat from time to time from the left side.
Well, he's hot from the left side today.
That's right. Has a chance to homer for the second time in the inning. When the 10th Red Sox player to homer in his first Fenway at bat. He could do it twice in the same inning. 1-1 the count. 2 men in scoring position. 6 runs across here in the second. Everett, the 10th batter of the inning, still just 1 out. Mike Stanley on deck. The infield in all the way around now as Walker joins the rest of the infielders in tight. Everett skies that to left toward the corner. And the leap and no catch made by Jones on a foul ball. Good effort by Jock Jones, but it was not playable for him. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Boston Red Sox and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. In addition, the accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox.
Well, Sean, what's interesting about this, I'm curious, had he batted right-handed, whether they would have intentionally walked Everett to load the bases with first base open, try to set up the double play.
Strikes out on a fastball up and in. The decision to bat left-handed didn't pay off this time for Everett, and that is a very good point you make. He goes up there right-handed. They
probably walk him.
Number 24.
Maybe that's why he did it.
Quite possible. I mean, unless he faced Redmond, which is he might have in spring training and already knew that he was not, you know, a flamethrower, and that's why he went up there. On the left side, but I'm quite sure had he gone up right-handed, they would intentionally walk him and try to set up a double play to end the inning.
Now Mike Stanley, who walked and scored earlier in this inning. Redmond turned it over. and missed with ball one. That might be another reason. Sometimes those lefties who turn the ball over like that, it tends to go away from right-handed hitters. An easier pitch to hit for a left-handed hitter. Away again. Redmond's a big guy, 6'5", 220. From Tulsa, Oklahoma. Originally drafted by Detroit in '92, elected not to sign. Went from the University of Oklahoma. Helped the Sooners win the College World Series in 1994. He was 5-0 in the postseason that year. Stanley rips one foul. Two balls and a strike. The camera inside the left field wall, and they've been busy. Manually operated scoreboard. They have to post the numbers by hand out there, and they've been scurrying around with all kinds of numbers to post, including 6 runs here in the second, 8 runs in 2 innings for the Red Sox, and 3-1 now. They count on Mike Stanley with Jason Varitek on deck. Eight to 1 Boston. 6-3 the hits in favor of the Red Sox. Redmond missed low. My goodness. 5 walks already for Minnesota pitchers. 4 in this inning. Stanley has walked twice in this inning. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
The catcher, Jason Varitek.
Sean McDonough, Jerry Remy, our producer Russ Kent, our director John Wilson, associate producer Dave Forrest, Bob Claude, Chris Gerline assisting us here in the booth. Jason Varitek takes a strike. Jason fly to right. His first time up.
Just checking the stats, and until this game today, the Minnesota pitching staff had walked fewer batters than any team in the American League through their first few games.
Marked 5 already, the duo of Mays and Redmond. Not helped by the narrow strike zone. That pitch close but a ball. Joe Mays pitched an inning and a third. He allowed 8 runs, 7 earned. On 4 hits, he walked 4, gave up a homer, threw 45 pitches, only 20 of them strikes. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And the Red Sox and their fans can thank me for Mays' struggles today, because last night we had our annual media rotisserie league draft, and I drafted Joe Mays in the late rounds, and that's the kiss of death to just about any player's career.
That's bad news for any player.
It is.
Take him, right?
When I take him, he's going to struggle, and I just did that for the Red Sox and their fans, knowing that he was pitching today. Little lob, shallow right center. That's going to drop for a hit. Garciaparra scores. O'Leary scores. The Red Sox lead 10-1 on opening day.
Well, it just seems like for all these hitters 1 through 9, they're making up for the first 6 games on the road. Couldn't wait to get back to Boston. Dropping hits in all over the place. And that guy's he's gonna run out of some numbers out there soon.
Wilton Veras.
Big 8 spot.
Yeah. Well, to bring the 9 down. See, from down there, it's tough to keep track of what's going on. You see, they have to look through those little slots in the scoreboard. Down comes the 9. They're going to put the 10 up here. 8 runs in the second. Well, the home cooking, the fact that the Twins are the opponent. And really, the Red Sox hit the ball on the trip, Jerry, better than the numbers would show. They made some line drive outs and that type of thing.
Seemed like it started to turn around late in the game on Saturday in Anaheim.
Veras rips another one, and that one's caught by Koski. Well, the ball's hit most hard in the inning by the Red Sox, but it goes for the inning out. 13 men came to the plate. 8 of them scored, and the Red Sox lead 10-1 after 2 on opening day at Fenway.
Well, the Red Sox have the 10-1 lead through 2 innings here at Fenway. Well, Friendly Fenway is the place to be this weekend. Wally the Green Monster celebrates Kids Opening Weekend on Saturday. The First 12,000 fans, 15 and under, receive a Wally the Green Monster watch, courtesy of Conn's Fenway Franks. Then on Sunday, they'll receive their very own Kids Day Wally the Beanbag Buddy. Tickets are going fast, so call now for 24-hour Touchstone ticketing at 617-482-4000. Also, the Oakland Athletics here, and they got a pretty good ball club.
Yes, indeed, they do. And a big lead with which to work for Ramon Martinez.
Number 50, the
Through
right
2
fielder.
innings, he's given up 1 run on 3 hits. He's walked 2 without a strikeout. And he'll face the meat of the Minnesota order in the 3rd. Matt Lawton leads off. He singled to right and was stranded in the 1st when the Twins left the bases loaded. They left another man at 3rd. In the 2nd inning, Ramon's first pitch of the 3rd is strike. Lawton, Ortiz, and Coomer coming up. Ball up and in on Lawton, who was hit in the face by a pitch last year, broke bones in his face. And he's coming back from that this year. Pops that one up. It's going to be close. Veras has room by the dugout.
Couple of changes at Fenway, and one that center field scoreboard out there. All digital now, and a much clearer picture in center field.
Yes.
Number
Previous
27,
one was
the designated hitter.
about 25 years old.
Ortiz.
Not as many blank spots as before. The picture much crisper. And the batter is David Ortiz, who singled to left. He takes strike 1. One and 1 the count now. There's a strike on the corner again. 1 and 2. Swing. He wanted appeal. No swing. Gary Cederstrom. Twins won just 63 games last year. They went 63 and 97. Last in the American League in runs scored. Last in homers. The 17 rookies at one time or another last year to Tom Kelly.
They hope Ortiz is one of those young players that could provide some home run punch. He had 30 in AAA.
Fly ball in shallow right. Nixon coming hard. Hoffman almost got in his way. So standing there to watch once Nixon took charge, but he didn't realize the ball was going to be as shallow as it was. Almost ran right into him. 2 down.
I wonder now if that wind's starting to shift around just a bit. Looked like that ball got taken back in toward home plate. I'm surprised he shot Nixon a little out there in right field. Thinks he's got it now, but now he's got to turn the jet sign to make the catch, and off him almost got run over.
Ron Coomer, the batter, ball 1 up and in. He walked with the bases loaded to force in the Twins' run in the 1st. Looked at that time with the way Ramon Martinez was scuffling that it might be a long day for the home team, but it's turned around quickly. The Red Sox lead 10-1, and it's turned around quickly for Martinez as well. A 1-2-3 inning. And we head to the bottom of the 3rd with the Red Sox leading 10-1. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network. Plenty of episodes left of this season for the Red Sox, but
number 30, the second baseman.
at this point it'd be tough for the Red Sox to match the start that they've had here on opening day. Ramon Martinez has settled in after a rough ride in the 1st inning. The Red Sox giving him 10 runs. It's 10-1. Here's the top of the order for Boston in the third against reliever Mark Redmond. Took ball one from Jose Offerman. Jose has walked twice and scored twice. Batting right-handed against Redmond. He takes a strike. Got Nixon to follow, then Brian Daubach. Change the pitching line on Mays as Redmond threw strike two. 5 of the 8 runs that he allowed were earned. That helped my team. Ball just a little bit outside. And a miss. Redmond threw it by him. That's the first strikeout of the game for the Red Sox.
A fastball up and away from Offerman, hitting from the right side of the plate for the first time this afternoon.
Second strikeout for Redmond make that is Everett struck out last inning. Both strikeouts for Redmond. Trot Nixon is the batter. He takes the ball high. Trot doubled and scored in the first. He walked with the bases loaded, pick up an RBI, and he scored again in the second. Everybody in the lineup today for the Red Sox has scored 1 run or more, with the exception of Jason Varitek. Offerman and Nixon have scored twice. Varitek has driven in a run. 2 balls a strike on Nixon. Last year on home opening day, the Red Sox shut out the Chicago White Sox 6-0. They played on April 13th. Brett Saberhagen started, pitched 6 2/3 innings, to pick up the win. Troy O'Leary hit a 3-run homer. Jose Offerman hit a 2-run triple in his home Red Sox debut. Nixon hits it to left center. And the ball's caught by the left fielder Jock Jones. He almost collided with Torrey Hunter. Apparently they're still chatting about it. Jones has played a lot of center field.
Yeah, he's giving him the sign like I put my arms out, but the problem with that is the other guy can't see that because he's looking at the baseball. He got a call for it also, and apparently Torrey Hunter did not hear that, nor could he see him put his arms out.
I mean, there's a little that looks worse than the sight of 2 teammates appear to be arguing on the field. That's kind of stuff you should save for Little League. Brian Daubach is the batter. If you want to talk about that stuff, go ahead and talk about it. But when you're being that demonstrative, it's obviously you're a little agitated at the other guy.
They were arguing with a smile on it.
Yes, right. Daubach a sacrifice fly in the first inning. He reached on the Mays error and scored in the second. Red Sox trying for their 3rd straight home opening victory. In '98 they beat Seattle 9-7. That was a memorable game. Red Sox trailed 7-2 going into the bottom of the 9th. Scored 7 runs for the win, winning on a game-winning grand slam by Mo Vaughn. To the left side and well hit, backhanded by Guzman. Low throw scooped by Coomer, and Redmond has a 1-2-3 third. After 3, 10-1 Red Sox. Red Sox lead 10-1 as we go to the 3rd, from the 3rd to the 4th here at Fenway. Nolan Martinez getting ready to face the Twins, and we'll bring you the scoreboard brought to you by your friendly New England Dodge dealers. The Yankees home opener postponed. They wiped that out yesterday in anticipation of inclement weather today. They'll play the Rangers tomorrow in the home opener at Yankee Stadium. And the Tigers are opening their new park Comerica Park in Detroit today, and they lead 2-0 in the second. The first run in the new ballpark scored by Louis Polonia, who had a leadoff triple and scored on a single by Greg Jeffries, and the second run came in on a Freddie Garcia balk. So the Tigers lead 2-0 now in the second in their new park. Looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, next week, don't we?
Corey Koskie, the batter, and he takes a strike. He popped out to Wilton Veras in foul ground in the first. All the rest of the action in the American League and all of today's National League action is later on. Ramon Martinez. He's retired 6 in a row since the leadoff double by Jock Jones in the second. Had control trouble in the first. He's been throwing strikes since. Koskie hit a bullet that almost got the first base coach Jerry White hopped up into the stands. Jerry showed quick feet there.
Credit too, he's staying in that box. A lot of time when that happens, they'll move way down the line and get out of the way.
Koskie, Marcus Jensen, Jock Jones coming up. Koskie was a September call-up 2 years ago and had a very tough time in September of '98. Even though he hit .301 in AAA at Salt Lake City that year, he hit .138 with the Twins, struck out 10 times in 29 at-bats. Last year, much better, hit .310 to lead the team. He lines one to center right at Everett. One out in the fourth. Twins could use some more power from Koskie. He hit 11 homers last year. Give him credit. He spent a lot of time working in Minneapolis in the offseason with Ron Gardenhire, who coaches their infielders, on his defense. That's one of the reasons he's earned the everyday third base job this season, which has improved defense.
He may be the best all-around player on this Twins ball club right now, and should get better. Remember Jim Thome when he first came up with Cleveland? He was up and down the minor leagues a couple of times before he settled in. Koskie only made 8 errors at third base a year ago.
Of course, Minnesota's situation as Jensen takes a strike, much different than a team like Cleveland. Told me they have a lot of other players. You can take your time with prospects with Minnesota. If you can play, you're there quickly, and you're going to stay around for a while, perhaps even if you struggle, because they don't have anybody else. 1-2 just missed. Ramon wanted that one. Still does not have a strikeout. With each pitch, this is becoming a more encouraging performance. The 1-2 to Jensen outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, this is much better, obviously, than that Seattle performance. And even in the first inning, when he was struggling some with a couple of walks, at least for the most part, he was missing down and out of the strike zone.
Off-speed pitch hit in the air to left. O'Leary tracking it into the corner, and he makes the catch right along the line. Fair ball, said the third base umpire Gary Cederstrom. And there are 2 down here in the fourth.
Well, slicing back toward the wall, and of course down that left field line, you just don't have any foul territory.
The left fielder, Jacques
Snip the glove out, make the play in fair territory, and embrace yourself before you hit the pad.
2 outs, 8 in a row, set down by Ramon Martinez, and the batter is Jock Jones. Want to know on Jones, the last man to reach. He doubled down the first baseline, a ball just out of the reach of Stanley.
Changeup.
Good, but not a strike, according to Marvin Hudson. Up the middle, a base hit. Jones' hot start to the season continues. He's 2 for 2 today. And the Twins have their 4th hit.
Got ahead in the count, got the fastball, which you're pretty much sure you're going to get when you have a 10-1 lead on that 2-0 count, and right back up the middle with the line drive. For Jones. Jones now with that batting average up over 400.
Torrey Hunter, the number 9 hitter, center fielder, grounded to short in the second. 0 for 1 today. Pulls that foul. Oh, my goodness. He's no Anthony. Whew. At least on early returns. We're going to have to get an update on where our pal Anthony is, but he set a high standard for the attendance along the left field line. Our standard not met by that play.
Well, even going down in the 1 knee, the ball still went through the 5-hole.
It's not because he doesn't have enough gloves. He has the baseball glove. He has a glove on the other hand. Back to the screen, 0-2.
Well, knowing how hard those guys work, he'll probably be out after the game taking foul balls down that left field line, one after another. Probably hit to him by Joe Mooney.
Well, the field looks to be in excellent shape as usual. Pitch down and away. 1-2.
Couple of things missing. The All-Star sign that was on that left field wall last season. And way in right field, a couple of the retired numbers have blown off.
Oh, no. Now this play to the right. Well, you're right. The 8, 9 are gone.
And the 42, I believe, that they had up there for Jackie Robinson.
Yes.
But I understand they have them. They're going to be back up. So.
Swing and a miss. First strikeout for Ramon Martinez, and that ends the inning. After 3 1/2, 10-1 Red Sox. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox Network. We go to the home half of the 4th on opening day at Fenway Park. The Red Sox pounding the Twins 10-1.
Now batting
The site of Fenway has brought Nomar Garciaparra's bat back to life. His first hit wasn't hit very hard, but it was an infield hit and an RBI. This one was ripped up the middle for a 2-run single. Garciaparra's 2 for 2 with 3 runs batted in. It'll be Garciaparra, O'Leary, and Everett here in the 4th against reliever Mark Redmond. Pitched an inning in 2/3. Coming on for Joe Mays. He turned one over and missed away. That one's a little bit low. You made an interesting point about opening day as we were chatting before the game. Always a sellout crowd, but on opening day you tend to see a lot of people you may not see again for at least very much the rest of the year. Kind of a social event in the region as much as it is a sporting event.
Folks here have been looking forward to it for quite some time.
Up the middle, Guzman couldn't get it. 3 for 3 for Nomar. Well, he had 4 hits on the entire road trip. He has 3 and 3 at bats here at Fenway.
Again, right back up the middle. Now, those pitches on the road, it seemed like Nomar was trying to pull the ball all the time. Today, he's just shooting right back up the middle. In particular, the last one, the last hit that he got, that ball was inside. His hands came inside the ball and just drove it right up the middle. So a little different approach by Nomar here at home.
Redmond to Troy O'Leary with ball 1. Red Sox have the lead, men on for the 3rd time in 4 innings. O'Leary grounded into a double play to end the 1st inning. He singled to right to drive in a run in the 2nd. Carl Everett on deck. The looper from Redmond. 2-0. Fly ball deep toward the triangle. Hunter there to make the catch. Well, there he got a lot of that one. It's very hard to hit a ball out of here in April to right or right center field. Deep part of the ballpark, and the prevailing wind this time of the year is off the water, straight in from right.
Yeah, this park plays so different when that breeze is coming in towards center field, and obviously in the hot summer weather when the wind's blowing out pretty much toward that left field wall. I guess Chicago, Wrigley Field, pretty much the same way.
Harold Everett got it out of here to straightaway center in his first Fenway at bat in the second. He hit twice in the second inning, struck out a second time around. The homer was against the starter Joe Mays, his third home run of the year. The strikeout was against the man on the mound, Redmond, and still again, Everett, a switch hitter, is going to bat left-handed for the second time against Redmond. 1-1 the count. Joined us late. Here's a look at Everett's home run, towering fly ball to straightaway center field. His first Fenway at bat. Shoots that out of play to the left.
A little different stance for Everett when he's hitting left-handed and right-handed. From the left side of the plate, the closed stance, feet very close together, and right on top of home plate. Open stance from the right side.
He'll talk about it, and perhaps it's because of the differences that sometimes he can go into a slump from one side of the plate and not the other. Two and two the count as Jensen blocked the 1-2 pitch from Redmond. Now the 2-2. Line back to the screen. Another thing you notice about the ballpark here on opening day is part of the netting above the screen is missing. The netting that would comprise the screen out there above the wall has vanished. Everett almost vanished, but the pitch, ball 3. But as the days go along, everything will be spruced back up and in place. Been replacing that net the last couple of days because it got blown away. Ball 4 low and away. We talk about the 89th home opener here at Fenway Park. You wonder how many more there will be in this ballpark. So much conversation about a new park, and it seems like if it's going to really take off, it's got to happen soon. The legislative session, I believe, ends in July, so we're going to get things done that are necessary at the State House. You would think that the plan would have to be heading in that direction shortly. Red Sox spending all kinds of money year after year just to maintain this ballpark, keep it as it is, with the infrastructure being nearly 90 years old. Lots to do throughout the year to keep this park just up and running. Mike Stanley, the batter, has walked twice and scored a run.
Well, with all the new ballparks that have gone up around baseball, it becomes a competitive disadvantage after a while. About a year ago at this time, we were talking about maybe opening a new park, what, in 2003?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. That clearly is not going to happen. The 2-0 pitch is popped up by Stanley. Shallow left. Doc Jones called Guzman off. Wonder if he was going to tell the shortstop, you should have seen me. I had my arms out to the side again.
They did have him out there again, but I think that time he was calling for the baseball, and Right at the end, Christian Guzman will just back off. See, the arms are out again, but
how was the shortstop supposed to see that? I don't know. The infield fly rule was in effect, as you saw with the arm in the air from Gary Cedarstrom, the third base umpire.
That may just be a habit that Jock Jones has when he's going to catch a fly ball, but I'm sure that time he gave the verbal sign also to Guzman.
Jason Varitek, the batter, and he pops one up.
Tried again.
And this time Guzman's going to let him have it. He's not running out under this one. Jones the catch. That ends the inning. The Red Sox strand 2. They've left 4 men on base, but after 4 they lead the Twins 10-1.
Back at Fenway, all Red Sox so far in this ball game. They have the 10-1 lead through 4 innings. Fans this Friday, the Red Sox host the Oakland Athletics as well as the Major League Baseball trading card giveaway. The first 15,000 fans age 15 and under receive an exclusive Rembrandt Ultra Pro Mini Card Collector's Binder, which features 8 cards to collect and trade courtesy of Major League Baseball. For tickets, call our 24-hour Touchstone ticketing at 617-4824-SOX or visit redsox.com.
Well, it started out like it was going to be another disastrous day at the office for Ramon Martinez. 25 pitches in the first. He faced 7 batters. Walked in a run. Walked 2 in the first inning. He actually did a good job just to get out of that inning, having allowed the 1 run, as they had the bases loaded, 1 run in, and only 1 out. And since then, he's pitched very well. Twins have had just 2 base runners over the last 3 innings. And the top of their order up in the 5th. Todd Walker 0 for 2. He took the ball high. Walker lied to center in the first, grounded out to the first baseman, Stanley, in the second. Out of play to the left. 1-1. We were talking last inning about the possibility of a new Fenway Park sometime in the future. I think it's a little bit frustrating when you travel around the country as we do, Jerry, and everywhere you look, you see a new park. And we like to think of ourselves here as one of the great cities in America, and somehow or another you can't find a way to get it done. Base hit for Walker down in the left field corner. And he has a leadoff double. Just this year alone, Detroit, Houston, San Francisco. Last year, the new ballpark in Seattle. Cleveland in recent years. Of course, the Sky Dome isn't all that old. Texas with a relatively new park. Colorado.
The shortstop.
Atlanta.
Guzman.
Milwaukee will have a new park soon. Cincinnati will. Pittsburgh will. Arizona obviously needed a park. We're all over baseball. But not here. Took forever to get the Fleet Center built. Took almost that long to figure out what was going to happen with the Patriots, and unfortunately it seems like it's dragging on and on and on to get the new ballpark rolling. Christian Guzman, the batter. 1-1 the count. He has walked and scored and flied to left.
It's amazing too how beautiful those new ballparks are, and of course fans, a lot of Boston fans get a chance to go down to Camden Yards or visit that park. They've been to Cleveland to see that one, and
even the staunch Save Fenway people who have gone to other parks will say to you, we've heard this over and over again, I was always in favor of keeping Fenway until I went to Baltimore and saw that park, or I went to Cleveland, saw that park, and then I realized we can have everything that's good about Fenway without all the things that are so bad about Fenway, and there are many of them. The 2-1. Boxed around by Varitek. Looked like a pretty good pitch. And you wonder if that cost Ramon the strike call. He came in off the mound and looked in at Marvin Hudson as he was taking the throwback from Varitek as if to ask, wasn't that a strike? And see Varitek shaking his head, knowing that he should have squeezed that.
Well, there have been a number of those. A lot of them in the first couple of innings. It quieted down some, but looked like a pretty good pitch.
That's ball 4. The first 2 men are on for Minnesota here in the 5th.
Well, with Tiger Stadium gone now, this is what? This is the oldest ballpark around.
Yes, it is.
Of course, Tiger Stadium was just horrible. I mean, you come back to Fenway after playing this 3-game series there, and Fenway looked brand new.
Well, because the Red Sox have made the effort to keep this ballpark up. They're doing the best they can to keep it a pleasant, relatively pleasant place to come. There's nothing they can do about the seats being too close together and the aisles being narrow and not enough restrooms and concession stands and those sorts of things, but at least they can try to keep it safe and clean. Tiger Stadium, they just let it
that's awful.
fall apart. Matt Lawton, the batter. He is singled and popped out. Twins trying to chip away at this 9-run deficit as Lawton pulls one foul by the Red Sox dugout. And obviously it's very complicated trying to build the new park here. The plan that the Red Sox have advanced and seems to have the blessing of people in the political world as well, is to build a park right behind this one next door in the lot that runs away from downtown. And an awful lot of landowners over there who need to be satisfied with giving up their property. Fly ball to left. Runners are not tagging. Leary the catch. Lawton out for the first out of the inning. There's the question of who's going to pay and how much are they going to pay and what is the money going to be for. Complicated issue, but in other cities they get it done. Here, for some reason, it's always an incredible struggle, and sometimes it doesn't get done.
The only place we heard any kind of bickering at all about the new place was Seattle.
Right. And they spent, even after the bickering, $372 million of public money on the new ballpark. David Ortiz, the batter. 1-0 the count. Ortiz single to left in the first, fly to right in the third. Ball low. 2-0. Ramon staring off into space.
Yeah, he very seldom will say anything at all, but he's becoming very frustrated with this.
That looked like it was just about the same spot as the last one. 3-1. John Wasden starts throwing. The Red Sox bullpen. John Cumberland, the bullpen coach, looking on. 3-1 pitch. Tied up Ortiz, who fouled it out of play to the left.
A little fire near the ballpark this morning, over in the fens, I guess.
Yes, over not far from here, a couple of blocks away. Like a brush fire that might have moved into some of the trees, from what we could tell from this vantage point. The 3-2 pitch. Hit on the ground to short. A double play ball if they hurry. Offerman managed to turn it. Wasn't an artistic thing of beauty, but they did get a turn. 6-4-3 to end the inning. On to the bottom of the fifth on opening day at Fenway Park. 10-1 Red Sox. This afternoon on Fox 25 and our Red Sox television network, the Red Sox lead 10-1 as they come up in the fifth. Wilton Veras leads off. Takes a ball low from Mark Redmond. Redmond's done a good job in relief. He's allowed a couple of runs, but that came just upon his entry into the ball game. Veras pulls it to short. Guzman near the bag, throws him out. Veras now 1 for 3. A double. Last time up, he lined out to the third baseman.
Of course, Red Sox fans got to see Wilton play quite a bit last season when John Valentin was on the DL with the knee problem. And he's a very good defensive player, strong arm. He's not going to give you probably the power numbers that Valentin will give you, but did a very solid job for the Red Sox. Plus, John on the disabled list now with that inflammation in the knee. And
Apparently tendonitis.
Yeah.
And that's good because even though tendonitis can be painful, structurally it doesn't seem to be as serious as other things when you're talking about cartilage or ligament problems. That's a base hit for Offerman. He's been on base 3 times already. A single to right. Go with 2 walks and a strikeout for Offerman today.
You know, what the players don't want to hear when it comes to knee injuries, ligament.
Yeah.
You know, they can handle cartilage, take a piece of that out. That's no problem.
Number 7.
The ligament's a little tougher to deal with.
Nixon.
Red Sox have 9 hits now. Here's Trot Nixon. He doubled and scored in the first. Walked with the bases loaded to force in a run, pick up an RBI, and he scored in the second. And fly to left in the third. Up for the 4th time in 5 innings. The Red Sox, if you just joined us, scored twice in the first after falling behind 1-0 after a half inning. The Red Sox put 8 more on the board in the second and knocked the starter Joe Mays out. 1-1 the count. A 1-hopper to short. Guzman, Walker, not in time at first base. Nixon beat it. Throw from Guzman seemed to get Walker's footwork all messed up.
A couple of nice plays defensively by Guzman at shortstop. There's that throw that's back inside. That, you're right, Sean. That throws the timing all off of Todd Walker, and now he has to make the throw on the run. Can't get very much on it. And Nixon will beat it out.
Offerman nowhere in the picture. He held near first base thinking that Guzman might catch that as a line drive in the air. Daubach, the batter, he checked the swing and looked at a ball. Daubach, a sacrifice fly in the first inning for a run batted in. He reached on an error by the pitcher Mays and scored in the second and grounded to short in the third. Right.
It's interesting. Still, Ron Coomer still holding the Red Sox base runners on with the 9-run lead. I doubt very much that they would be stealing, and with the left-handed hitter up, you think you'd see Coomer maybe 1 step behind Nixon, which would be just as effective.
Taking ball in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike. Chase went in the dirt. 2-2. Omar Garcia Parra will follow. Omar's already 3 for 3 today. Strike 3. The coin landed on heads. 3 strikeouts for Redmond. After 5, 10-1 Red Sox. We're back at Fenway Park on home opening day 2000. Sean McDonough with Jerry Remy. And a man enjoying this Red Sox performance very much, Carlton Fisk. Welcome. Good to see you, and congratulations on your upcoming induction into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, isn't that something? It's, boy, opening day in Fenway Park. It doesn't get any better than this anywhere. 10-1's even better, but yeah, this has been quite a year so far. The phone call in January about the Hall of Fame, and then I find out that I talked to Dan Duquette earlier, and they're going to retire my number this year here in the ballpark.
If it doesn't blow away.
Doesn't blow away.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought there was more than 2 numbers retired here.
Yeah, they're making room for it now.
That's right.
That's right. They decided they're going to put you up and take a couple
I'll be
of them
the only double-digit number up there, so that'll be fun.
What What has life been like since? We all remember the coverage and what a great emotional moment that was for you and your family when you did get the call that you're going into the Hall of Fame. But I'd imagine the phone starts ringing off the hook and their appearances.
That's exactly what's happened. It's turned into a pretty fast-paced last couple of months, so I'm having a little trouble getting wound back up to keep up with it, but it's been fun.
John Wasden, the new pitcher, after 5 innings from Ramon Martinez, 5 innings that were very encouraging for the Red Sox and their fans. After a rocky first inning, Ramon pitched very well. Ron Coomer greets Wasden. 1-0 pitch from John, a little bit low and away. Coomer walked with the bases loaded in the first to force in the Minnesota run and grounded to short in the third. You're going to start working on your speech soon? Have you thought about what you're going to say? And there's always...
Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night thinking, oh, should I bring up this or should I work on that? Or
Coomer greets Wasden with a deep drive to left. And that one's gone. Into the screen. And the booze heard already for Wasden. You know, the trouble with the home run ball last year that got some of the fans on his case. And first batter of the season at Fenway to face John takes him deep. It's 10-2.
Ron Coomer picks up his third home run of the young season. Get ahead in the count, 2-ball, no strike. Ball middle in, and that's one that a lot of times will end up in the net here at Fenway.
if you're going to give them up, though, that's the time to do it when you're up 10-1 and nobody's on.
That's right.
Just don't give up too many, though.
They say, yeah, you can give up 30, 40 of them along with their solo jobs.
That's right.
Well, that's not always true. If your team's got 10 runs on the board all the time, you can do that.
It's 10-2. Corey Koski, the batter. 1-1 the count. He's 0 for 2 today.
I understand you're a grandfather.
Oh, I know. Geez, it's got the call last night, middle of the night, here in Boston, that my oldest daughter Carlin had a little baby girl last night.
Wow.
So
quite a year for you and your family. How about opening day? You talk about the excitement of opening day. Of course, you as a native New Englander, what are your memories of the first time you were part of opening day here at Fenway?
Well, oddly enough, my first opening day here in Fenway Park, I didn't play. Bob Montgomery was catching. And after opening day, I think I started playing against the Yankees. It was my first game. But here in Fenway Park, this is something you dream about as a kid growing up in New England. When you're playing home run derby in the backyard, that you're going to stand at home plate in Fenway Park with a green monster and be a major leaguer. But when you step into this ballpark, you go, wait a minute, this is the big leagues. What am I doing here? And now there's a lot of years later, and you go, it's nice to be back here.
Some kids from New England play home run derby, others play bunt.
Yeah, but the guys that could play bunt that could run, you know. I wasn't worried about that part.
Koski strikes out, the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Marcus Jensen, visiting with Carlton Fisk, who is heading to the Hall of Fame later this summer in Cooperstown, New York, with your old pal Tony Perez.
That's going to be the first reunion of the 75 World Series crowd in the middle of the summer. They're supposed to have one here, you know, around Labor Day. 75 World Series celebration.
When are they going to retire your number here?
That same weekend, the Labor Day weekend's one of those days. It's funny how quickly cheers or boos are returned to cheers when you give up a home run on one hitter and the very next hitter you strike him out and you booed one time and you're cheered the next time. So
that's not like New England, no.
Oh no, that's not like baseball either. You know.
0-2 on Jensen. Jock Jones on deck. 10-2 Red Sox in the sixth. You made a decision that delighted people in this area when you said that it would be the Red Sox cap that you wear going into the Hall of Fame. Did that require a lot of thought? Was that a difficult decision?
Actually, it was not. It was difficult to maybe announce it or bring it out. Maybe the timing of it more than anything, but seeing it was a year after my initial eligibility that I was selected, so I didn't feel I could sort of separate myself, one, from the 75 World Series and that moment in the series, and two, growing up in New England and have this where it all got started, and this being my dream as a boy to be here.
Line to center, and Everett is there for the second out. And I imagine the fact that you're back with the organization now, working as a special assistant to Dan Duquette.
That actually, that did not have a lot to do with my decision on what hat to wear.
Number 11, the left fielder.
It might have had something to do with their decision on whether to retire my number or not, which was cool too. But you know, I always had a special affinity for this uniform and Fenway Park, so it wasn't a difficult decision to make.
Jock Jones, the batter, 2 for 2 today. He has 2 of the 6 Minnesota hits, a double and a single.
Now, with the Hall of Fame thing, that's got to keep you busy, right? You're traveling all over the place for that, and you don't have to work again the rest of your life.
Well, you know, there's a lot of different definitions of work.
We know. Some people.
Oh, are you guys working? I didn't. Oh, this is work too. I forgot. Yeah. But the phone has started to, not just started. The last month and a half has just been ringing. You would think with an unlisted number that nobody would be able to get in touch with you, but wow, has it been ringing, and my frequent flyer miles are definitely starting to mount up.
What do your duties, special assistant, entail, or is it sort of one of those developing projects?
I think it's more of a developing project. I think initially it was to, you know, sort of reintroduce myself to the organization and you know, be visible enough here in New England and with the Red Sox to have it be fun again. So it's a developing situation.
All right. Well, congratulations on all the great things that are happening in your life. Carlton Fisk, our guest here on opening day. The strikeout ends the inning. The Red Sox lead 10-2 in the 6th.
Well, the Red Sox have the 10-2 lead here at Fenway. As we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, this season, Red Sox will offer a free shuttle bus service from Ruggles Station to Fenway for all Red Sox home games. The Red Sox want to improve public transportation access for fans arriving via the Orange Line, commuter rail lines from Attleboro, Franklin, and Needham, and several MBTA bus lines. This convenient shuttle will also provide fans with a fun-filled experience. Visit RedSox.com for more information.
Mark Redman puts 3 straight scoreless innings. And he throws strike 1 to Nomar Garciaparra. Nomar 3 for 3, 3 singles, 3 runs batted in after starting the season on the West Coast, 4 for 22, about an RBI. One and one the count. Garciaparra, O'Leary, and Everett do. And a miss. You mentioned the Ruggles Station transportation situation. I think that might be, in part, obviously, in the short run, it's to make the traffic situation around the ballpark better, make it easier for fans to get here. I think with an eye toward the new ballpark, too, they're also trying to get people in the habit of seeking other transportation, trying to see if that system works and people use it, because if there is a new ballpark here in a few years, it's going to be bigger. There'll be more people coming here. Parking spaces will still be at a premium. That's ripped. A 4-hit day on opening day for Nomar. It's just the 6th inning.
Number 25.
Game summary brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. The Twins took a 1-0 lead in the first on a bases-loaded walk. The Red Sox got 2 in the bottom of the inning and then 8 as they sent 13 men to the plate in the second. They scored 8 runs on 5 hits. They were helped by an error by the pitcher Joe Mays. Carl Everett homered in his first. The Red Sox at bat at Fenway. And Nomar now 4 for 4. The game summary brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Troy O'Leary, the batter. 1 ball the count. To the experience over at Boston College when BC expanded its football stadium from about 32,000 seats to 44. There were already traffic and congestion parking problems over there, but they put a new transportation system in place, and now it's much easier to get to BC football games even with 12,000 more seats. I think that's part of the idea behind this Ruggles Station transportation plan. Let's hope people use it and that it works.
There's always been a large group of people that take the public transportation at Fenway. The
commuter trains. Sometime I wish I would do it.
Well, you're always the first one out of the park after the game. When we say goodbye, bang, that headset's off. You're down the elevator, in the car, and out.
I get to Alston, Cambridge in time to listen to the wrap-up on radio.
Yeah, you do not have a wasted moment when that game ends. At home or on the road. Bob Wells, veteran right-hander in the Minnesota bullpen now.
Pretty much the same way as a player, too. I didn't particularly care to go over my misfortunes after a game. I wanted to wait till the next day.
Payoff pitch to O'Leary. Hit slowly toward Walker at second. He'll take the out at first, and Nomar's at second base with one out. Quick shower and out, huh? Do you have your parking space today ready to go? Because part of your escape plan is that you have a strategic parking space that points you right out and helps get by a lot of the traffic.
I'm quite sure it's there. I didn't notice. I didn't mention it to him this morning, but I'm pretty sure they're accustomed to where I like to have it, especially when they have a full house. Different parking spots, full house, and some of the weeknights early in the season when you don't get a full house.
Maybe we'll do a McDonough report on that later in the season. Jerry's parking plan based on crowd. Carl Everett, the batter. He's homered, struck out, and walked. He looked at ball one. Well, now he's batting right-handed. Come up to the plate twice against Redmond, left-handed. Strikeout on the walk, and now he's decided to go right-handed. Good decision. Drilled to left. 2 home runs in his first game at Fenway Park as a member of the Red Sox for Carl Everett. And the Red Sox lead 12-2.
He's just having a little fun here on opening day. He has fun every day that he plays. Not too much bothers Carl Everett. Right side, a fastball that's up about letter high, and the line shot up into the net for the home run. I get tired. He strike out, then a walk from the left side. Figure this time I'll try right hand and see how short that wall is out there in Fenway, and making it look easy.
That was a shot. 10 career multiple homer game. Mike Stanley, the batter. So much of the optimism of the Red Sox fans in this offseason was based on the acquisition of Carl Everett, the extra offense that he would bring. He's delighted his new fans as quickly as he possibly could.
I'm glad he made it to the park.
Yeah, good thing Jack McCormick rather got him here on the cell phone. Getting all the way to the park, he's learned his way around the bases very quickly. 1 on Stanley, who's walked twice and scored a run. He's also fly to left. Pops that one up on the right side. Coomer and Walker retreating. It'll be Walker dropping the ball. He thought Coomer was going to take it to the very last moment. Then he realized Coomer wasn't going to take it. He lunged at it with his glove about shin high and hit the ground.
Well, this is the one the second baseman has to take charge on. Anytime you're behind that first baseman, you've got to call him off and make the play, and he's looking at the first baseman hoping he takes it, and then by that time it just bounces right out of the glove. That's why Walker at times will be taken out defensively late in the close ball game.
That's going to be it for Mark Redmond. Tom Kelly takes the ball from him, gives him the pat on the back, and Bob Wells will be the new pitcher. Red Sox lead 12-2 in the 6th inning on opening day 2000 at Fenway Park. It's opening day 2000 at Fenway Park on Fox 25 Sports. The Red Sox lead the Twins 12-2. And the third pitcher of the afternoon for Minnesota is Bob Wells.
Made 5 appearances, this being his 5th appearance of the young season. And he's had his struggles. ERA at 13.50. This is his second full season with Minnesota. Previous to last year was with the Seattle Mariners for a number of years, working out of Lou Pinella's bullpen.
inherits Stanley at first after the error by Walker, the second Minnesota error. Jason Varitek greets Wells with a deep drive to right center. Lawton watching that one go off the bottom of the wall. Stanley to third. Varitek into second with a double. Jason Varitek's 2 for 4 today. Welcome to the game, Bob Wells.
A lot of first pitch hitting, too, from the Red Sox hitters this afternoon, and for the most part, the results have been excellent. One plays pretty shallow out there in right field. That ball hitting right off the Red Sox bullpen.
Number 38.
And Varitek with his second hit of the day. He's 2 for 4 with a couple of RBI.
And they continue busy. Rich Maloney in the foreground. Chris Elias also working there, posting the numbers. Wilton Veras bangs one into center field, a base hit. Stanley on to score. They'll hold Varitek at third. It's 13-2. And Veras has hit the ball hard today. He's 2 for 4, and one of his outs was a bullet of a line drive right at the third baseman, Corey Koski.
And again, first ball hitting for Veras. 2 pitches from Wells. One's been a double, one's been a single. Right up over the glove of Bob Wells, and Veras picks up his first RBI.
The second base.
He probably got the call maybe yesterday, Veras. And you get the Fenway, you're in there tomorrow at third base, and you're hitting 9.
He must have known, though, for a few days it was a possibility with Valentin out of the lineup the last few days of the road trip. 7th batter of the inning, Jose Offerman. The runs in this inning charged to Redmond. Wells responsible for the 2 base runners. 1-1 on Offerman. He's been on base 3 times. Walked in the first 2 innings, each of the first 2, and scored twice. Struck out in the 3rd, single to right in the 5th. Here he is in the 6th, up for the 5th time. A ball high, 2-1.
Everybody in the Red Sox order with a hit except Daubach. He's got a sacrifice fly to the drive and a run, and Mike Stanley, and he's walked a couple of times.
There's Redmond. Wells throws a strike. Varitek's the only one who hasn't scored a run. He's at third right now with a great chance to score. Hoffman has scored 2 runs. Nixon has scored twice. Garcia Parra twice. Everett has scored twice. Stanley has scored 2 runs. Veras and Daubach have scored once each. Good block by Jensen on the ball in the dirt. It's a full count. Trot Nixon on deck. 13 runs, 13 hits for the Red Sox. 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors from Minnesota. Pierre Costley again for the Twins. Ball 4 outside. Twins pitchers have walked 7.
Number 7, the right fielder, Trot Nixon.
Trot Nixon, the batter. With another chance to come up with his first career hit with the bases loaded. He walked with the bases loaded back in the 2nd. Not going to run. He scored twice. 1 for 3 with the first inning double. 1 strike on Nixon, the 8th batter of the inning. Check swinging a foul ball. Mark Redmond pitched 4 innings of relief. He allowed 5 runs, 4 earned on 7 hits, including a home run. Redmond walked 2. Struck out 3 through 81 pitches, 45 strikes. I guess Tom Kelly would not have him available the rest of this series after an outing of that many pitches. The 0-2 to Nixon. Just missed.
Now
Probably a guy I hope he wouldn't have to go to the rest of the series. One of those long relief guys.
Bob Wells, 33-year-old veteran in the state of Washington from Yakima, 6 feet 200 pounds. Oh my goodness. I wish we could, after the game, watch the tape with the home plate umpire Marvin Hudson and go pitch by pitch and say, okay, what was wrong with that one? What was wrong with this one? What was wrong with that one?
Trot fortunate to be still up there with another chance to hit.
That's a swing and a miss. So Trott's life was extended, but not for very long. The second out of the inning. First strikeout for Wells. First three men to face him at all reach.
Number 23, the
Red Sox have batted around for the second time in the game. In the second inning, they sent 13 men to the plate. Here's the ninth batter of the sixth inning, Brian Daubach. How many times today has that pitch been called the ball, did you figure? 8 times out of 10?
I'll be better off saying how many times have been called a strike.
Yeah, about 2 out of 10, including that one. 1-1 on Daubach.
Think of the National League, and I guess that's where the umpire is from. I don't think Maddox and Glavine would like to have him behind the plate.
No.
They extend that zone a little.
Daubach chopped one foul wide of first. Sacrifice fly for Daubach for an RBI. He reached on an error and scored in the second. 0 for 3. Batting averages can turn around quickly at this time of the year. Omar Garcia Parra, for example, started the day at 182. He's now hitting 308. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Wells. Carl Everett was at it again. Another homer for Everett, his second of the day. This one from the right side into the screen with a man aboard. Red Sox get 3 in the 6th. After 6, they lead 13-2. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
Number 48.
Carl Everett has homered from both sides of the plate for the 4th time in his career. He's hit homers from each side of the plate in the same game. Last time he did it August 7th of last year for Houston.
He became the 7th player in Astro history to do that.
John Wasden beginning his second inning of relief. He threw ball 1, rather strike 1, to Torrey Hunter. He was grounded out and struck out against Ramon Martinez. Martinez started when 5 innings, allowed 5 hits and 1 run. Much better outing than what we had seen lately from Ramon in spring training and in the first start of his season in Seattle. Martinez walked 3, but 2 of those were in the first inning. He struck out 1. John Wasden struck out 2 last inning, gave up the 1 run on the homer by Ron Coomer.
You brought it up, Sean. You mentioned in the second inning it looked like Ramon was throwing harder than in the first inning, and he got better from that point on.
Hunter, Walker, and Guzman coming up against Wasden. Red Sox lead 13-2 in the 7th. Dribbler foul.
That's the best way right there. Wait till it stops, then pick it up.
I was going to give it to a fan. Why that guy? Now, hopefully that fellow came with a young fan and was just going to bring it to a young fan, but usually they pick out a youngster. We're going to have to investigate that, Jerry. There's a possible corruption down there. That has the earmarks of, hey, if you get me a ball, you know, I'll give you something.
Well, high fives down that first base side for that play.
They're very happy to have the souvenir. Most of the folks still here despite the one-sided game. It's been a relatively lengthy affair, and it's a little on the chilly side. Game made a lot longer than it would have been by the home plate umpire Marvin Hudson, who again just doesn't want to call the strike. 1-2 the count.
Weather, what, similar to the last time the Red Sox were at home against the Yankees. A little cool for that series.
Trying to check his swing and could not. So that's 3 strikeouts for Wasden now. That's been 3 of the last 4 hitters.
And the second time that Torrey Hunter has struck out this afternoon, and Ramon Martinez got him what I believe was a changeup back in the 4th inning. And this looks to be the curveball from Wasden to pick up the strikeout.
Todd Walker, the batter. The 1-0 pitch from Wasden. Fouled away. Carl Everett, first Red Sox player to hit 2 homers on opening day at Fenway since John Valentin in 1997. John hit 2 off Randy Johnson that day. Prior to that, you had to go all the way back to 1973, and whom we just visited, Carlton Fisk, hit 2 homers in the home opener against the Yankees. One off Mel Stottlemyre. We send our best wishes along to the Yankee pitching coach, recently diagnosed with cancer. He's going to begin a treatment program. And our thoughts and prayers are certainly with him. Apparently he's going to be able to continue to work while he undergoes treatment. Walker with a base hit into right center.
They've certainly had their share the last couple of years. Joe Torre and now Stottlemyre, Darryl Strawberry. In the last postseason, well, Scott Brocious' dad passed away when the Red Sox were in town toward the end of the year. Paul O'Neill.
Yes.
The shortstop, Christian.
He had a lot with which to deal. Walker 2 for 4. The second hit given up by Wasden. The 7th hit for Minnesota. The Red Sox are out hitting them 13-7. The Red Sox lead 13-2. Guzman 0 for 1 with a fly out to the left field in the second inning. He's walked twice and scored a run. He takes the ball outside. One and 1 the count.
I'll tell you what, if I was a hitter, I'd be hoping this guy would work home plate every single game.
Isn't that the truth? There's a strike. John Wasden won't be involved in the decision today, but he did get off to a quick start last year. Started 7-0. Ball outside. 3-1. Wasden from Florida, pitched at Florida State. And throws ball 4 high, so the Twins have 2 men on with 1 out here in the 7th. First walk surrendered by Wasden. And the 4th for Red Sox pitchers today.
Number
Eddie
50,
Guardado.
the right fielder, Matt
warming up in the
Lockman.
Twins bullpen. We really don't have a closer on this team right now. And have saves by committee. Apparently they haven't had a save yet this year. They had Mike Trombley last year, who handled the bulk of the save situations after Rick Aguilera was traded to the Cubs. There's a well-hit ball to right by Matt Lawton. Nixon on the gallop, and it's off the bottom of the wall. In to score Walker. On to third Guzman, and in the second with a double is Lawton, his second hit of the ball game, and it's 13-3.
Well, Matt Lawton has been pretty active out there defensively in right field today. Now he'll get his own base hit out in that direction. That ball on the outside part of the plate, he hooks it and right at the base of the wall. Short hops the wall, and he'll drive in a run. That's 11 RBI now for Matt Lawton here early in the season.
Joe Kerrigan to the mound. Rob Standiford just called up from the minors. Take Bryce Fleury's place. Bryce on the DL with a groin injury. Standiford warming up. A non-roster player had to be added to the roster.
Number 27, the designated hitter, David Ortiz.
There's David Ortiz, 1 for 3. Single to left in the first. Last time up he grounded into a double play. Infield back with a 10-run lead. So then in scoring position, a chance for the Twins to do some more damage. Ron Coomer will follow. Tom Kelly, we were talking about the closer situation. Tom Kelly has indicated, when you're going to win as many games as we're going to win, you're going to be ahead in ball games late, not all that frequently. How much do you really need a closer?
Well, it would seem like Eddie Guardado would be a guy that surely could take over that job. Hard thrower. He's had a lot of success in the past. He's had some struggles here in the early going. Well, they kept a couple of veteran players. Midray Cummings on this team. Butch Husky, who was with the Red Sox last year, also a member of the Twins team this year. A combination of some veteran players, but mostly young players.
2-0 pitch taken all the way for a strike. And the Twins really are the textbook example of what's wrong with Major League Baseball in terms of the disparity between the so-called big market clubs and the small market teams. The Twins, poster child for the small market clubs. Ortiz hits a one-hopper to second, and it'll get a run in. Offerman throws him out. In from third, Guzman to make it 13-4. But there's something wrong when, just because of the payroll, Jerry, it's a given that so many teams like the Twins are going to have no chance.
Number 8, the first baseman,
when the season begins.
Ron Coomer.
You hope to develop, obviously, out of your minor league system, and they've got a bunch of guys that obviously have come through their system, and I guess if you ever can develop together, get a good ball club, then the question is, can you go out and then make that major move that you have to make to put the final touch on it? They're quite a way, obviously, from that, but it's a shame, too, because Minnesota, you did the World Series there, I believe.
No, they were in it the year before I did the World Series. Yep.
But, I mean, what a terrific atmosphere that was. They have some great fans there. And
yes, they do. And they're in danger of losing the team because they don't support the team as much anymore. Ron Coomer, the batter, and who can blame them? They play in a lousy ballpark. They have issues relating to that as well. They really could use a new park, and they have a lousy team. You don't want to go indoors on a nice day or night in the summertime. A lousy ballpark to watch a bad team, has very little chance of competing. Same is true in so many other places around baseball. Milwaukee's and Montreal's in recent years. Pop up. Stanley in foul ground has it. Coomer's out, and the Twins are finished in the 7th, but they get 2 more against Wasden. And at the 7th inning stretch, On opening day at Fenway Park, the Red Sox lead 13-4. First time to stretch at Fenway Park. In the year 2000, 7th inning stretch, the Red Sox leading 13-4. When you bring one of your best relief pitchers into a 13-4 game, he truly is every day Eddie Guardado, having earned that nickname from racking up many appearances in recent years for the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, he's trying to get settled too for this season. This is his 5th appearance. He's had his struggles early. 2 1/3 innings, 4 hits allowed, and 4 earned runs. Allowed a couple of home runs, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Everyday Eddie.
Everyday Eddie. Including opening day at Fenway when it's 13-4 for the other guys. Another pitcher working without anything on underneath the uniform top. Nomar Garciaparra, his 13th career 4-hit game, has raised his average from 182 to 308 today. 4 for 4, 4 singles. He still hasn't had an extra base hit this year. Maybe he'll add that in for the 5th hit of the day. He has 8 hits for the season. All of them singles.
Well, the fans have to be happy. They come to the ballpark for the first time. They see Nomar to this point with 4 hits. Everett, who's just joined the club with 2 home runs. Ramon pitched well today.
Everywhere you look, really a positive.
Yep.
So there's a called strike, too. Nomar had to protect with the count 0-2. Busted down the line, but he's out for the first time today. And the fans still give him an ovation as he goes back into the dugout. Some of the folks right behind the dugout on their feet.
The left fielder, Troy O'Leary.
One out. Guardado gets O'Leary to swing and miss. O'Leary 1 for 4, an RBI single to right and a run scored during the 8-run Red Sox second. Bob Wells pitched 2/3 of an inning for Minnesota without being charged with a run. He gave up 2 hits and a walk, just enough to let all of Redmond's inherited runners come in. Actually inherited 1 who came in to score, tied for Redmond. Wells walked 1, struck out 2. Guardado the 4th pitcher, and he's ahead of O'Leary 0-2. Boy, blistering line drive into the third base boxes. Fortunately, no damage done there. O'Leary to right. Room for Lawton. 2 outs. And listen to the hand for Carl Everett.
Number 2, the center fielder, Carl Everett.
The instant fan favorite has homered twice today. 1 from each side of the plate. Left-handed to straightaway center against the starter Joe Mays in the 2nd, and from the right side against the lefty Redmond in the 6th. He gets that down the right field line. Lawton can't play it. Everett into 2nd, and he'll stop there. 3 hits, all of them for extra bases for Everett today. He's 3 for 4. He's also walked, and the cheers continue.
Well, this time he decides just to go to the opposite field, spray the ball all over the ballpark. Again, it looked like it might have been misplayed out there by Matt Lawton. That's about the 2nd time today that looks like he's taking the wrong route toward the baseball.
At least the 2nd.
Mike Stanley.
They'll work on the angles out there for the game tomorrow. Tough field to play. Left field here gets so much attention because of the wall, but outfielders will tell you right field here is a more difficult spot. Mike Stanley pops it up in shallow right center, and Walker can't play it. Everett to third. He should have scored. He must not have known there were 2 outs. Tom Kelly's wondering what's going on.
Yeah, I think he'll be very happy when this one is over, as well as the rest of the Twins. Things have not gone their way all day long, with the exception of the 1 run in the top of the 1st inning. Everett apparently forgetting how many outs there are in the inning. He's just playing it halfway, but apparently with 2 outs. And I think he's as surprised as anybody when he gets to third base. I mean, there's no way that's Walker's ball. That's too far in the outfield. Either the center field or the right field is going to have that ball.
That's the first thing Everett's done wrong today. Here's Jason Varitek. Stanley catches a break, and that it's a hit, the 15th for the Red Sox. He wouldn't have had an RBI had Everett run. Out of play to the right. Varitek behind in the count, 0-2. He's 2 for 4, an RBI single and a double.
Players call that a brain cramp that Everett got at second base.
Varitek thought about swinging and held up. Most runs the Red Sox have ever scored in a home opener is 15 back in 1973, April 6th, in that game against the Yankees we mentioned, in which Carlton Fisk hit 2 homers. Ouch. Right off the knee of Varitek. Got him in the back knee. And they're going to have to get about 8 guys and drag him off the field if they want to take him out, because there's no way he's going to go on his own.
He didn't even want any help walking down that line either. That ball just about impossible to get out of the way of. That's breaking ball that just keeps following him, and eventually gets the back knee, it looked like. Get that front side out of the way, but almost impossible to get the back leg out of the way, and well, that has to stink.
Especially on a really cold day like today, as it has become very chilly in the late afternoon. Not that it was tropical when the day started.
Number 38, the third baseman.
Travis Miller warming up. Lefty in the Minnesota bullpen. The bases are loaded again for the Red Sox. Wilton Veras is having a good day. 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI single. He has scored a run. And he drives one to deep center. And Hunter made the catch on the edge of the warning track. The Red Sox leave. The bases loaded. The score after 7 innings. Boston 13 and Minnesota 4. This is the Fox 25 Red Sox Network. Sean McDonough, Jerry Remy back at Fenway Park on opening day 2000 in Boston, and the Red Sox have made it a very enjoyable opening day for the sellout crowd here, leading 13-4 as we go to the 8th inning. Number of changes for the Red Sox. Jeff Fry has been bothered lately by a sore neck. Comes in to play second base. Offerman has the rest of the day off. Manny Alexander is at shortstop to give Nomar a couple of innings of rest. Scott Hatteberg is the catcher. Varitek was hit on the knee the last half inning, and the new pitcher making his American League debut and his first appearance in the majors since 1998 when he was with the Florida Marlins is 28-year-old right-hander Rob Stanifer.
Yeah, 36 games for the Marlins back in '97, and he had 38 the following year, and last year at Calgary, Trenton, and Pawtucket in the Red Sox organization. He was 3-1 at Pawtucket. And just called up because Bryce Flory, with the groin injury, placed on the 15-day disabled list.
Feels like we're still in spring training, except it's about 30 degrees cooler.
That's a little
They're
cooler.
playing the Minnesota Twins. Late inning substitutions. In comes a pitcher who wasn't in the major league roster till today. Line drive to center by Corey Koski, handled by Everett. Koski's 0 for 4.
Well, kids, here's your chance to bring Wally the Green Monster wherever you go. Come down to Fenway Park on Sunday, May 7th, when the Sox take on the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. The first 12,000 fans, 15 and under, will receive a Wally 2000 Backpack Buddy. This adorable stuffed mini Wally character has a convenient backpack clip so you can carry a little bit of Wally wherever you go, courtesy of Papa Gino's.
Marcus Jensen, the batter.
When is that day?
Hopefully it's coming soon.
I hope it's May 7th.
1-1 the count now, and Jensen 0 for 3 with 3 balls in the air. Well, Wally got the Red Sox righted. He showed up on Sunday to get the win in Anaheim, and he is here on opening day today. Pop up straight up. Alexander, the shortstop. 2 outs. Hanifer might be in for just 1 inning. They might get Tim Wakefield an inning of work as he's warming up.
Number 11, the left fielder.
We're in the 8th. The Red Sox lead 13 to 4. 2 quick outs for Staniford. His American League debut. 28-year-old right-hander from Easley, South Carolina, lives now in Largo, Florida. He knocks down the comeback, and he's going to have a 1-2-3 inning as Jock Jones is out. Go to the bottom of the 8th. The Red Sox 13 and the Minnesota Twins 4. Wild opening day. It was 10-1 Red Sox after 2 innings. An 8-run second set the tone. Ramon Martinez pitched very well for 5 innings. Now Lever 2 homers. Nomar Garcia Parra 4 hits. And the Minnesota Twins on their 5th pitcher. Here's lefty Travis Miller.
4th appearance for Miller on the season. He has worked a total of 2 2/3 innings, allowing 6 hits and 4 earned runs. 1 walk and 3 strikeout. Miller been up and down between the AAA ball club in Minnesota since about 1996. Parts of seasons at both places. Last year, 52 games for the Twins. All out of the bullpen, had a record of 2-2.
There's Jeff Fry up for the first time today. 1 for 7 on the road trip was Jeff with an RBI. And he's 2 for 8. Rips the first pitch from Miller through the hole on the left side.
Well, that leadoff spot's been on base a few times today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. 5 times. Offerman was on. The only time he didn't get on was a strikeout in the 3rd. Other than that, 3 walks and a hit. Fry gets a base hit.
Often with 3 walks today. He's walked 12 times now in 7 games. Could be much worse for the Twins. Red Sox have left 11 men on base. They've left both bases loaded in each of the last 2 innings. Brock Nixon takes the ball down and away. He's 1 for 4, first inning double. He also walked to force in a run in the 2nd inning. He scored twice. 2-0 the count. Eddie Guardado pitched 1 inning for Minnesota without allowing a run. Gave up 2 hits and hit a batter, but got out of a bases loaded situation, and Milton Veras flied to deep center to end the inning. Miller finds the strike zone. 2-1. In the air and left. Doc Jones with a little leap just shy of the wall for the out. Fry back to first with 1 out. Every night at 10, Fox 25 brings you your first look at today's headlines, your first chance to get the weather, and your first look at scores and highlights from around the world of sports. Fox 25 News at 10, your first choice for news. And our news team will have plenty of coverage on all of the activities of opening day on the Fox 25 News at 10 tonight. Gary Gaetti pinch hitting for Brian Daubach. 41-year-old veteran who had his best days as a Minnesota Twin, making his Fenway Red Sox debut against his old team. Gaetti's been up 6 times without a hit. Pops that one over by the seats into the crowd. 33,114 the attendance here today. Many of them have departed now with the ball game nearing the 3-hour mark. You want to leave and make sure they're just in time to hop into the rush hour traffic. You don't like it when they leave early because that puts a lot of them on the road ahead of you.
Well, actually, no.
No?
No, I get you out of here a little bit quicker, this congested area.
Gaetti down to third. Toski stumbled, got the ball to Walker for the second out. Let's pause for station identification along the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
Bangor's choice for family entertainment is PAX 33.
Sean McDonough with Jerry Remy. We continue with Jerry Remy's Fenway traffic tips. So you're saying when the crowd leaves early, that's good for traffic?
Yeah, because of this particular area here, once you get past the light over here on, what is that, Boylston? There's one, you know, straight shot from there, but it's a little congested till you get to that point. So if they leave early.
Walker has to pop up the crowd on his case with the balls that have dropped in out there. But thank you for that tip. Red Sox fan a runner in the 8th. We go to the 9th. The Red Sox 3 outs away from victory on opening day.
13-4, top of the 9th inning. Red Sox fans, don't forget to log on to RedSox.com 24 hours a day to order Red Sox tickets for the 2000 season. RedSox.com is also the best place to get all the updated team and player information. There is no better place for Boston baseball fans to go than RedSox.com.
Other than Fenway Park itself. Torrey Hunter, the leadoff hitter. It's still Rob Stanifer on the mound. Apparently Wakefield was just getting some work in the bullpen last inning. Stanifer pitched to 1-2-3. 8th inning. Pitching with a 9-run lead. Hunter trying to bloop one into right center, and he has his first hit. One for 4 for Torrey Hunter. That brings the top of the order around again. Todd Walker.
Number 12.
Red Sox and Twins continue this series tomorrow night. 6:05 the first pitch here at Fenway. Jeff Fassero and Johan Santana the starters. Nesson will have the coverage. Nesson also has the ball game Thursday at 6:05. Pete Shurik against Brad Radke. And so does Ace. Subject of a lot of trade rumors. He has been knocked around in his first 2 starts. Stanifer threw ball 1 to Walker, who's 2 for 4, a double and a single, and a run scored.
That's a guy you want to get bad on this team, don't you?
I'd really like to see Brad Radke here. Not if he continues to pitch like he has so far, but if he's the Brad Radke that he has been the last several years.
I think he's going to get a little better than that.
Yes. He'd be a good addition to most pitching staffs, including the Red Sox. Well, some of the concerns that fans have had about Ramon Martinez and the other starters other than Pedro might have been eased somewhat by the way Ramon pitched today. Nesson will also have the coverage on Friday night when Oakland is here. We're back with you on Saturday. Our next telecast over the Fox 25 network is Saturday afternoon at 1. It'll be a fun matchup. Pedro Martinez will make his 3rd start of the year against that free-swinging Oakland bunch. The 2-2 from Stanifer. Walker fought it off.
Got this expensive telestrator here. I don't think I've used it. Have I?
You used it once today.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you drew a line on the screen to show how Everett had closed stance on one side of the plate and open on the other. Here's Cormier in the bullpen.
Maybe I could show where Everett's home runs went or something, just to justify having it up there.
Shallow center, Everett there. That's the first out of the ninth. Throw to first. It gets by Stanley and Stanifer. But backed up by Hatteberg. And the crowd likes the attempt by Everett. The crowd's liked everything Everett has done today, except when he forgot how many outs there were and didn't score. But he's been pardoned for that because of his heroics this afternoon.
Good job by Hatteberg doing his job.
Use
to
the telestrator.
Get over here and back up the play. I think I want that high home shot, and I'll point out where both home runs went.
Well, it's new. You need the practice, but I might be forcing it in just a little bit. Everett actually said before the game that he felt great pressure to succeed immediately because the expectations Fenway fans have from those players who wear the number 2.
All right. Anyway, he had 3 last year, I believe.
Yes. Hit on the ground to short. That could end it. Alexander DeFry on to first. Not in time. Guzman beats it. Well, it's been a terrific day throughout for the Red Sox and their fans, most especially Carl Everett.
Here's where he hit the home run, a little higher than that right here, hitting left-handed.
I'm not seeing it on my screen.
And then the right-handed over there.
I don't think the telestrator's in. There they are.
There it is.
There they are.
Yeah, see, now it's worth it.
Your center field circles off, though, is on the wall. We'll work on it in time for Saturday. Lawton grounds out, and the home opener goes to the Red Sox. Great day all the way around for the Red Sox as they win 13-4. We'll have the totals and more from Fenway Park right after this.